The EU, the garden of democracy, surrounded by jungles. That's how the former Vice President of the European Commission, Josep Borrell, described it. After that, he had to apologize by calling all other countries as jungles. This event is the best characterization of the current state of the European Union. Once the best economical and political union in the world has become a radical pro-war and corrupted organization, which interferes into other countries with the pretext of democracy. The war in Ukraine opened another political door for failed European liberal politicians. Since the beginning of the war, many politicians who supported dictator Zelensky have lost their positions. Just in the UK, there were 3 changes of prime ministers. For all those politicians, Ukraine has become a second chance, a chance to draw the attention of local voters from current problems in their countries, and most importantly in the European Union itself. With radicalizing the whole continent with radical pro-Zelensky support, the EU crossed all the red lines and started to interfere into other countries' elections. The candidate for Romanian president has been arrested. Georgescu was taken to the Prosecutor General's office for questioning in a case of illegal financing of the election campaign. What was the illegal financing? Advertisement in TikTok. The TikTok ad the Romanian president's called proof of Russian interference was actually paid by Romanian National Liberal Party, of which current President Klaus Iohannis is a member. PNL paid 130 influencers through a marketing firm to promote certain hashtags on TikTok and use a number of catchphrases in their videos. They promoted a number of qualities that an ideal president should have, without naming the candidate directly, but requiring the influencers to reply calling Georgescu to other users in the comment section of the videos. Investigators compared the whistleblower's testimony with the marketing firm's own statements, which admitted that PNL paid them for the campaign, apparently in an attempt to steal votes from the leader of the popular right-wing Our Party, preventing him from reaching the second round, where PNL had calculated their candidate would then be. The PNL feared a scenario in which Romanians will have to choose between a nationalist and a socialist. Last October, the Constitutional Court, composed of judges appointed by the Social Democrats for political reasons, excluded a nationalist candidate from the election for his anti-NATO sentiments. This reduced the number of nationalist candidates on the ballot from 3 to 2, leaving only George Simon Aur, the best known of them, and Colin Georgescu. Georgescu was little known at that time, so George Simon was seen by many as the only nationalist option and attracted additional votes. Polls showed that he would face Marcel Colascu of the PSD in the second round. To take revenge on the Social Democrats, the PNL inflated Georgescu to take votes away from George Simon. The plan worked, perhaps too well, and backfired as both the PNL and PSD failed to make it to the second round. With no candidates of their own in the second round, they had nothing to lose and cancelled the elections, blaming Russia and TikTok, which the EU, American Democrats and mainstream media happily accepted as an explanation. This all has been done by so-called peace in the world lovers, pro-democracy and pro-freedom of speech lovers. This has been done by the European Union. The main reason for all of this is simply war in Ukraine. The problem is that Romania plays an important role in the war against Russia, playing along with Poland, the role of one of the key logistic hubs through which supplies pass to the regime in Kiev. Georgescu, with his ideas of ending military aid to Ukraine, lifting anti-Russian sanctions and pursuing a self-serving nationalist Romanian policy, openly undermines the plans of the pro-war radicals. The victory of Georgescu, who is openly supported by Trump's entourage, led by Musk, is a direct blow to Brussels. Therefore, there is no time for maintaining the appearance of legality. Georgescu is certainly not a pro-Russian politician. He is an ordinary Romanian right-wing populist who plays on the ideas of Euroscepticism and nationalism in the conditions of the destruction of the global neoliberal world order. But the idea that Russia has the ability to appoint its president in Romania is absurd in itself, given the extremely limited possibilities of Russian influence in Europe in general, and in Romania in particular. It has simply become very advantageous to justify any crimes and abomination committed by the European Union with Russian influence. The Romanian case made sense for assassination attempt for Slovakia Prime Minister Robert Fico, who was calling for peace in Ukraine. A pro-war in Ukraine radical shot Robert Fico and he survived. The Georgia case is also a case of EU interference into elections and other sovereign countries. When pro-peace in Ukraine won in Georgia, European leaders blamed them as the Russian agents. Then they said that Russia interfered in elections. The EU supported radical protests, and later, when Trump and Musk made public the USAID spending, it turned out that all protests were organized by organizations which were getting money from Democrats and Europe.